to session 7, I believe. 7? Yeah, 7 of Blaze in the Dark Cult of Tides. So this is Scott of Scott's Case Files, and here are my awesome players. Let's start over here with Steve.
Hello.
And Cassie.
Hello.
And Dr. Oculari.
Hello.
And last but not least, Neokri.
Hello.
Excellent. So before I forget, again, let's do the intro video and do that thing. So be right back. Cool. Excellent, we're back. All right, so a lot happened last time. A lot of things kind of going on all at once. So it was a pretty exciting session. Our first car chase, what we got? Cart chase, goat chase, wagon chase. Yes, thank you. Yeah, pretty intense wagon chase. Good job. Enjoyed myself there. So yeah, there a couple things happened because of this. A, you guys got yet another artifact. B, you guys are now wanted. You have a wanted level, and we need to figure out what we're going to do about that. Unless we want to ride it out, we can go higher. But that's something to think about here. And I know there's some kind of behind the scenes things. I know that Peacock's spirit, his new spirit contact is coming into play slowly but sure. I'm interested to do something with that. And
I had a smidge of downtime to finish.
Yep. And smidge do we have a smidge of downtime, or do we do it all?
We did not do my project, I think.
Yeah, that was the last thing. You had one more thing going on. And did we have anything else going on in the background? Anybody doing stuff? Fish, are you doing anything in particular? Or
crew advancement.
Crew. Do we get another crew advancement? Really?
Yep.
Did we?
Yep.
Right.
Really?
Cool. Yeah, so a lot of this is, I think it's safe to say that we have a lot to do. And none of it has to do with the score, but we could make it into a score. So more than that soon. Let's take a check here. Yeah, it looks like we did get the full on advancement.
I do have a small score that we could do for my spirit, so
yeah. Awesome. All right. So where do you guys want to start? Do you want to start with all the red tape, picking out crew advancement stuff, and that kind of thing?
If you don't mind, do my downtime first, and then we can get that kind of out of the way, and then to the crew advancement stuff.
Sure. Go lay it on me.
So I had one project I was going to be working on, and I decided that because I had enough XP, I was going to take the Veteran Whisper Move ritual, which allows me to study an arcane ritual, an occult ritual, or create a new one to summon a supernatural effect or being. And I know how to do it, and I begin with one ritual already learned. And at least from the fiction, I've been studying the ritual books quite a bit, and then starting to consult with my spirit, Lady
Definitely.
Ava. And this is the part on page 222 where you get to ask me questions, because what does the ritual do and how is it weird? The ritual I want to learn is called the Drowned Man.
Ooh, tell me more.
I cause someone to suddenly fill with water and drown.
Oh my.
How's it weird? How is it weird besides just the fact
Just what it
just what I'm
does.
doing? Um, is it weirder than that? Um,
Hmm. Does like your the symbol of the cult like form on the person as they fill or something like that?
that would
Does
be
it
a
mark
weird,
them?
that would be a weird thing that would have a price of some heat. I like it.
Or,
Um,
or the perhaps the water that spills out forms into the symbol. Water just
hmm,
on its own.
right. I kind of like it, because I assume I don't know much about drowning, but I assume you turn a different color or so. I would assume that the no, the veins and the rupturing would cause whatever symbol to appear either on their chest or on their forehead.
Mm. You
Okay,
could
yeah, that'd be interesting.
have like when in the water, when you look at the ocean, you can usually see the stars. You could have it like see the stars in their eyes if they drowned.
Hmm,
Combination
that could be
thereof. That'd be
interesting
neat.
too.
I mean,
I,
yeah,
I, I will leave it to the GM's discretion that they are visibly marked by something that could be traced back to Shanas.
gotcha. Well, let's see here. Let's before we, let's kind of explore the other stuff. So
So,
the player asks,
yeah, what must I do to perform the ritual, and what is its price?
wow. So let's see. So the ritual literally is it like guaranteed to kill the person? Is it like they drown if they happen to have like or athletes or something? They can survive this, that kind of thing. What is it?
Um,
What is the end effect of this ritual? What happens to the person? This is a guaranteed kill, basically.
I would say yes. So I assume it's going to have a high price.
Gotcha. So why don't we go like a life for a life thing? You have to sacrifice to Shanas a human, specifically in ritual format, in order throughout in this ritual in order to make this happen. Life
So I'm basically voodoo dolling some human and drowning them.
well, no,
That's
you're the life that you're taking is giving you it is empowering Shanas to take that life for you in return.
right. And that's what I mean. Meaning I'm, probably drowning someone to
Oh,
have
I see.
someone else drowned.
Ooh, that sounds naughty and neat.
Okay.
Two things I
Now,
generally don't put
What
together, but
is
yeah.
there a personal price stress wise or um this
I,
sounds like I don't know where magnitude is listed, but it sounds like it's um a higher magnitude.
well, I would
It's on
let's see
page
here.
220 is magnitude.
you could maybe add like some kind of like stealthy price. We had that other ritual where we trapped the ghost in the water. Maybe you had to like trap a ghost in the water and make them drink it or something for it to work. So you'd have to kind of do it like stealthily.
Well, let's see. That is a really good question. So, there are things I'm planning to bring up here in the session as other kind of, you know, getting closer to Shanas type of things. So I'm not sure. I think maybe yeah. I mean, would you be comfortable with? Let's see. So one a death has to happen. That in fact two deaths in total. So
Right.
that's generally that's plus we've established that there's potentially some heat from the mark on the
Mm-hmm.
person. Plus
Right.
the deaths just themselves tend to generate notice. Um, we can also do it if it's like a guaranteed kill, but this is like a person. So I would say we can do some stress also.
Yeah, it's looking at magnitude a couple pages earlier.
Yeah. I'm just trying to
The
think of
area is
what
low,
is
but
the
the force
magnitude of
is
this.
high.
Hmm
the area is 0, but the force is probably 5. And I would say it probably has a range.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Say across the city, so a very high range.
Gotcha. Well, let's see here.
But I don't know how that actually calculates into a level
Yeah.
of
No, I
result.
totally, yeah, totally get what you're saying. So let's see. So if we combine, like, if you want a range of like literally across the city,
Yep.
that's a range of a tier 6 type range, and definitely powerful or overwhelming. So what would that be? Let's see. Oh,
I think force-wise was probably 5 because it's bigger than 4. Electrocution is considered probably death.
gotcha. Let's see here. Well, do we want to go as far, again, given the kind of magnitude of this, do we want to go as far as to say that it is like pretty much you take a trauma for this, essentially? How far do you want to go with that is my question.
I mean, I would say like 8 stress, which means if I have pretty much any, I'll take a trauma.
Okay. All right. Yeah,
Is that because that has some risk and reward to it then of like, do I, hold back because I know I want to do something,
oh, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, okay. That sounds good to me. So let's see, let's get back to that. What's the price? Okay, so pardon me. What new belief or fear does knowledge of this ritual and its attendant occult forces instill in you? Player answers.
I would say that no one is beyond the reach of Shanaz, and that if I fail her, the eyes of my masters, the masters could do the same to me.
Ooh. Yeah, it's not like a ritual you're inventing, it's one that you're rediscovering or
right
whatnot that they may also know. Gotcha. Cool. All right, yeah. That works really well for me. Very cool. Especially with your taking your ritual thing, again, it's
right.
Yeah, I'm down.
So the next the actual downtime action is that I want to start learning a new ritual as well.
Ooh, cool.
And I'm going to call that the tide giveth and taketh away.
Nice.
And I don't know if we need to detail it out now as opposed to when I learn it, because I don't know how many clock segments it's going to be.
Gotcha. How many are let's see. So just give me like the 25 words or less version of what this ritual does.
The concept, since all the rituals have to be done as a downtime action, be something I probably have to flash back to. But it's going to be to provide, some sort of aid while we are on a mission, which will probably be up to the GM discretion. And obviously it can be only found waterside because it's based on the tide. And it will depend on, how much that, how much aid that's considered from you.
I see. Okay. Yeah.
So conceivably it could be used to help in an engagement role. Or it could be done, something as a flashback to like, we're trying to, bolt out of there and, we go to the water's edge and, their XYZ is, whatever it happens to be.
Gotcha. Cool. All right. Yeah.
And taketh away, again, it's going to have a price of equal value.
Gotcha. All right. Cool. So I tentatively set that as a 6 clock.
Okay.
I think that's
sounds great.
I think that's normal for that kind of thing. Cool. Awesome.
And then I use study to work towards it as a fortune roll. And I think Ava as a Ava or my adepts are helpful resources to go with that.
Sure. Yeah, those can definitely help you get that extra die. Let's see, can I get 2?
Yeah, let's see how I do.
Oh, 5. I want to say, let's see here.
2 ticks or 3?
Let's see. I have to get back to that real
2
quick.
ticks.
2 ticks?
2 ticks.
All right.
Thank you.
Cool.
Okay.
All right. So now we're done with your.
Now we are done with mine. Sorry for the delay.
It's not a delay. It's part of the fun. Cool. Awesome. All right. Let's see here.
We now return to our regularly scheduled broadcast.
Or no, return to a regularly scheduled cult worship. All right. Well, very cool. Again, and that's again. I just want to point out that's pretty significant to be doing. Now you have a ritualist amongst you. No longer do you necessarily have to risk like literally all of you being vaporized, while doing something you're trying to do to affect the occult, etc. This is now, have the ability to like at least somewhat safely navigate these ritual highways.
I do still have 1 dot in study, but at least
Yeah.
get us somewhere.
Fair enough. All right.
Yeah, we can still always blow up stuff.
That is true.
Cool. So let's the second thing, if you guys are cool with it, I'd like to go over your treasure from the last time, the artifact.
Oh yeah.
So let's see here. Moment. There we go. Okay. All right. So so do you guys kind of, I'm assuming you guys, once you get back, you kind of take the thing out, you've basically had it wrapped this whole time for its own safety and just to not be drawing any attention to it. I'm assuming you wait till you get back to the secret lair and before you kind of unwrap everything. When you do open it, the adepts are with you. They couldn't not be there, and they're both just kind of looking at you. You guys are the important people, so you're kind of like, I'm sure, at the table around it, and they're kind of like trying to look over your shoulders, that kind of thing. This is pretty impressively important to them. As you guys unwrap it, you see there are more. You're under the mistaken assumption that this was an artifact. It looks like it's actually 2. In fact, if even the most basic like artistic ability amongst you, you can see that this, what you just got, fits with what you had, and actually completes the idol. But it hasn't been connected yet. But you all feel this again. It's not unlike the tides. This attraction for one another. It wants to be together so bad. It needs to be together. There's a thrumming in the room that happens as you like the adepts bring the other pieces there already assembled, and kind of hand it to one of you, Fish. And now Fish holds the completion of the puzzle. What do you do?
I'm holding the pieces we already had.
Yeah, the 2 pieces that kind of already formed themselves together.
I reach out
Okay.
to touch it and awe.
So what am I gonna do?
That's my question.
Yeah, I'm gonna look over the 2 new pieces that we got, kind of holding these up, not touching them yet, seeing where they fit in, and I can identify. I guess I'm sort of, if I start to stumble into game master territory, you'll just stop me, right?
Sure. You're doing
Okay.
fine.
All right, so I'm holding it up and I'm moving it around to see where these two pieces fit, and I see where they go. They're not, those two don't fit together, they fit onto other parts, you know, of this, you know, they're not contiguous pieces that fit together, but I identify where they go together. And then I look at you other three and say, so what do you think? We put it together?
Absolutely.
I think I should set up some equipment to monitor these forces first.
The adepts are like tripping over themselves, like we're like this is like it's like this close to like
And,
you know
and
that
I'm
movie
looking
you're
at
looking
the
forward to.
pool beyond. I'm like, we have all the equipment we need. The water is our guide.
But you're kind of trying to be more of the rationalist and saying, well, yeah, we got all the spiritual excitement, but maybe we ought to take some measurements too.
Yes.
All right, what do you guys do? Tell me. Don't trip over each other. It's fine.
Okay.
Orderly fashion.
Fish isn't, you know, Fish is still in the, what I forget, I'm not looking at the right screen, trauma. You know, Fish could go either way.
Well, Jungle will probably stand up and just start rummaging around for various, like, bits and bobs to build some, like, measuring equipment for, like, the electroplasmic forces and stuff
I
coming
give you
off the
5 minutes
artifact.
before I put it together.
What was it?
That's Peacock. I give you 5 minutes before I put it together.
That's fair warning. All right, Junker, you're gonna just go put your stuff together, and what are you looking to monitor specifically?
Well, you said it had some kind of attraction, so it's like trying to monitor like the attraction and trying to monitor like what happens when it actually is put together.
Gotcha.
Uh,
Well, actually, you'd use something similar last session to kind of track the one artifact. I'm assuming you could easily, kind of alter it enough to kind of get the reading you're looking for. That shouldn't take 5 minutes.
yeah, so she'll put it um like a circle of what is it? Like the dust reagents around on the table,
Mhm.
and set up basically kind of like a machine to one side with one of those antennas that kind of like measures the ectoplasmic force. It like flips it on, like,
Okay.
and okay.
Yeah, that one. I mean, and you had kind of the basics of it already made, so there's no real need to make any kind of roll or anything. Anyone else want to do anything before this 5 minutes hits? Before Peacock's need to see everything joined together takes the better of him. That's a no. All right, cool. So, kind of measuring paraphernalia is up. I'm imagining like you have the big table you guys would normally eat communally at. With the circle thing around it, with the two present parts of the idol in the middle already, Fish holding on to the others, and you kind of all look at each other, communal nod, and Fish goes in.
How big is this? Are they? I'm just off the top of my head. I'm thinking that this is something. The two pieces I'm holding are already kind of a handful, an armful, so to speak.
I don't know. I would say the whole thing will probably be something the size of like a small watermelon ish.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And I guess I'm thinking just because of that size, and it's probably kind of cumbersome to hold, and it's heavy, I'm assuming. So I'm gonna. So I'm just looking at Cutter and Peacock and saying, "So each of you grab a piece and let's put it together." And I hold
Absolutely.
out. what I've
Ooh,
got.
nice. All right. So you guys go for it?
Yep.
All right. Okay. So here's where we roll up new characters, and it's been an awesome campaign. I've enjoyed this a lot. No, just kidding.
Hey,
No,
it's also good to see an elder god.
no, yeah. So you guys each kind of force a piece together, and it doesn't require so much force. It is, again, it wants to be there. It wants to be in its hole. That's Happy Gilmore reference. But yes, it kind of pressures them. Each piece kind of brings itself together, even as you guys put it into place. And there is a flash. Junker, your meter just zips up, 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 threatens to itself erupt, like just fry itself. The adepts, you don't see much like emotion ever, or caring, or interest in anything, beyond just Shanas and fulfilling their duties to you guys. But they're like little kids at a candy store. They're Trekkies the first day Picard came out. They're all over that. This is like the best thing that has ever literally happened to them in their lives. They were born for this moment. And so it basically forms up, and it's an idol. It's a very ancient figure of Shanas. Water starts to course from it and up each of your arms. Before you know it, it's covering your eyes, it's in your mouth. Each of you is basically in a slightly drowning state. You're like right now you're just surprised. It's literally 2 seconds has passed. And each of you kind of gets a little glimpse. I'll start with Breaker, if that's all right.
Sure.
So you find yourself in what's kind of like a memory for you. You're on the battlefield. There are dead people everywhere. This is a pitched battle. This was one that did not go well for you guys. It's just it's been just blown up. There's been explosions. Any semblance of like like a street or anything in the city that you're fighting in is just gone. It's just nothing. You're basically walking over mud. It's black mud. It's black and red, like with red and with blood. And there are these places where it's the explosions that happened there were enough to actually form like pools. And at the moment, you've as this vision hits you, you are basically forcing another man's face down into that pool, and the person is like fighting. It's horrible, no leverage really for this person. You basically have them by their neck and their skull, and they don't have anywhere to really push from, and they're struggling, and suddenly nothing. Everything's quiet, and everything around you is quiet. The battle is over. This is like the last bit of violence. There's really no one left around you. So as you kind of notice this stillness around you, you kind of look into the pool, and things kind of move around a bit. The blood that's already been there, the grime, the dirt, the last bubbles from this guy's lungs pop up, and you see something so beautiful, something so wondrous and amazing that it can't be described. You could, if you had a million years to write about this, you could never capture this moment, this sight, this beauty, this majesty before you. And just like in real life, the water kind of reaches out to you, but in this case, it's a hand, and you can see that it wants to touch your face, and you have the opportunity to move away if you choose. What do you do?
I lean towards it.
Yeah, so the hand caresses you, and you feel this beauty kind of just leak into your skull. It makes all the sense in the world now. Shanaz, I she was the answer before I knew the question. You can feel that she's just becoming part of you. She's wanting to visit herself into the world through you. And the thing is, you have to allow it. So the question is, do you open your mind to the thought tendrils of Shanaz?
I
Or do you
open
not?
fully.
All right, take one trauma.
Yep.
Let's go to fish. Fish. Strangely, whereas everyone else might freak out about this, you like lacking oxygen and having water in your lungs, etc., is not really, you know, a horrible experience. You could probably go on for quite some time, longer than everyone else here. But you're brought back to a scene where you have to think it was your very first time ever doing this. The first time when you kind of you were like on the dock, and you're like, do I have this demon blood in me? Do I have can I can I exist underwater? And but it was that moment where you were afraid. You were just, again, it was that I could die. This logical part of your mind, I could die, but this other part of your brain that just says, I I am this. I belong in the water. I belong under the water. And you kind of reach down to kind of touch its surface, and then draw your hand back, and you see that, not unlike Breaker's vision, which you don't have any knowledge of, a water, like a solid water hand, kind of follows your hand back, touching you fingertip to fingertip. And again, it's this amazing, you look into the water and it's like there's this beauty in it, this beauty under it, and you feel what can only be Shanaz reaching out to you. And she whispers to you this melodious, again, the beauty of the sound. You could never describe it. You could, if you heard it again, you would just spend the rest of your days crying at its beauty. But it beckons you. It's like and you can just feel it. Not so much a language, but the meaning is just brought to you. Shana says, "You belong under here. You belong with me. You're a creature of water. Join me." And the water hand kind of reaches out to your face, and you can now accept or reject the thought tendrils of a forgotten god called Shanaz.
Oh, bring it on, Shanaz.
The everything kind of penetrates you, and you're enveloped in the water inside and out, and it's the most wonderful, fulfilling, and traumatic thing. So take one other trauma.
Let
And
me get that screen up.
yep, we'll go to Junker.
Another trauma? Now, do I have to pick another trauma?
Another type, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll get to that, or do it as I kind of take care of everybody. Junker, your memory is also very distinct. You were. It was one of your first times experimenting with electroplasm, and you in retrospect, with all your experience and knowledge now, this was so dumb. But at the time, it was like the perfect thing to do. Is like you needed to try it. You're kind of like the like, I gotta do this. I gotta take that leap of faith and just do this, or I'm just never gonna be able to experiment with this stuff again. And you burned yourself. Electroplasm all over your right hand. You kind of take a second to look at it, and it as the plasma kind of courses up your arm, and you fall back, and basically you find you've knocked over a large basin. You're now covered in water, which actually made it worse at the time. But now you feel, as the water washes over you, the memory isn't the same. Whereas the water actually made the electroplasm reaction worse, and something far more painful, this suddenly cools everything. Everything is is it not only as if your nerve endings stop transmitting pain, but there's a pleasure there. The water took that all away from you and gave you this. And as you kind of roll back from this, basically explosion, and you kind of look over to the side, you see your reflection in this puddle of water that's formed. And before you know it, the puddle shimmers, and you see it's like a being is superimposed, and undeniably it's Shnas. She's superimposed herself over your face, almost as to say, you are one. We are the same. I am in you. And the water hand reaches out, touches your face, and it feels so nice. It's like a mother's caress. And now you have the opportunity to either let in the thought tendrils of forgotten God or not.
Probably not.
That's all right. Who's beeping in the background, by the way? Take care
Sorry.
of
I
that.
don't think
No
Sure.
beeping.
she's
You're fine. Okay, so yeah, so you kind of like lean back from the hand in your memory.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
Like,
the hand leans back, and you kind of see it kind of regress into the pool. And we get to Peacock. Peacock. So you're the thought memory takes you back. You're actually attending a large party at back when you were rich, way back when you were rich. You're attending a large party in this memory. What's different from the memory in the real life was that it's like the party's over or something. There's not really anyone around. There's a couple of people. You find yourself in kind of like a hedged in kind of courtyard. Kind of like it leads off into like a hedge maze type of situation on some estate. There are party platters and stuff along the circumference here, and there in the center there is a pool, like a sunken, not swimming pool, but like a
Like a reflection pool.
a reflection pool, exactly. You can see here and there those oh gosh, I forget what the term is, but in basketball they actually infuse animals, fish, a lot of times fish, with electroplasm, and they become a light source. So there's at least several of these fish swing around there. Otherwise, it's a big reflecting pool. And in the memory, you had actually just found out that your family basically lost their fortune. There was this, there was this admission to you from whoever, and there's this moment in your memory where you thought, well, I'm at a pool. Can I, I could just end it right here. I could end the line, not even worry about this. And you kind of maybe get down on one knee, and that's when the pool surges up and kind of brings you in. Next thing you know, you're under the water, and again, you had this thought in your head, well, I'm at this pool, and then the realization comes, I'm meant for something else. I'm not meant to end here. And that's when the kind of the fish kind of float away, but there's another light source that's starting to coalesce. It's coalescing as like a full figure in front of you, like just bits of pinpoints of light close enough together that they start to form a figure. And the light kind of grasps you around your shoulders and lifts you up and says you're meant, basically that, again, this, though no language is exchanged, there's this feeling that you are meant for greater things, Ramira. And then as you kind of breach the surface, the hands now of light and water reach up and touch your face, and you have the opportunity to either accept the mind tendrils of a forgotten god called Shanas or not.
I accept it.
All right, take
And
another trial.
nothing else.
Perfect. So so suddenly it's literally been just like possibly like 2 or 3 seconds have passed in the real world, and you both all find that suddenly the water is just dripping off you. The adepts are behind you guys. They did not experience this, and there's this look of utter remorse on their faces that they know something just big just happened, and they're adepts of Shanas, and they didn't get to participate, and it's now the worst day of their lives. Ah, you just looking at any of them, either of them, you can see their just frustration with the whole thing. And as a note, I think now that we are tier 1, some more adepts have come into the fold. As a note, so we'll have to name them later or something. So yeah, you guys are now in what I would assume would be kind of very much a feeling of, whether or not you accepted the goddess, you're feeling a sensation of shock, like as if like you've actually taken like physical damage. That again, that kind of feeling, like that, the kind of clammy skin, the sweating, the kind of like, shortness of breath, or maybe a little lightheaded. It's as if someone had rocked your world, upside your noggin, and suddenly you're back to the real world in the blink of an eye. So yeah, what do you guys do from here?
I think Junker would be like coughing and like spitting up water. And she'd be like, "Well, that was a trip that I don't think I'd want to ride again."
Oh, sorry.
Peacock's sputtering a bit too, but he's like endeavoring to write down his experience.
Ooh, wow. Right away. Okay. Awesome. How about Fish and Breaker?
You got anything, Breaker?
I say he's mixture of shock, trance. He's not saying much. He's coughing and spluttering. Actually, is he? No, he's breathing deeply, and he's
Did he just freeze up?
Looks like it.
He might have. That or he's practicing being a. Say something, move. You can bring him back in. Hold
I can't hear.
I was gonna say if we wait 5 minutes, we can see if his shadow moves.
on. Yeah. Let's see here.
It'll probably reconnect.
Yeah, it should. All right, we'll let him do his thing. Fish, since we have some time, no? Any reaction to the experience?
Fish, in a way, really doesn't want to leave the vision. I don't know if the vision is probably actually over, but Fish is still, in their mind, is in it, is still feeling that touch, and is kind of almost playing with it, passing it from one hand to the other, almost kind of like doing a cat's cradle thing with the fingers, just kind of looking at it and saying, wow.
Cool. Excellent. Yeah, the adepts, as they kind of just stare at the thing. That there's now smoke coming from Junker's apparatus. It's safe to say that whatever it was capable of measuring. Ooh, hold on. Whatever it was capable of measuring is now. It what happened exceeded it basically.
I think perhaps playing with artifacts like this is pretty dangerous.
Dangerous. It's but the tip of what we need to do. just think of what we can learn from this and how we can use it.
Well, how would you suggest we use it then?
Wasn't your mind opened? The possibilities for advancing Shanaz's will here. This is power.
There we go.
And he's back.
That was weird.
We've been waiting silently for you to get back.
Yeah, it was everyone just I could hear everyone, no problem, but you all just froze. And then my
Ah.
car. So I tried to leave and come back in, and then Discord just crashed. And so
Wow.
that was an experience.
All right. Well, welcome back.
Shanas's range is really extended.
Funny. Cool.
Yeah,
Just continue with the conversation.
All right. So Breaker he's gasping. He's breathing deeply. But he's like underneath it all is just enraptured would be a good one, like a rapturous feeling. This deeper connecting to the God on a deeper level. It's his true goal at the end of the day. And so he's in shock, he's in pain, he's traumatized, but beyond all that, but all that's worth it for this deeper connection.
Gotcha.
Is a true connection to the goddess.
Awesome. So, as a mechanical side of this, now we get to go to the Forgotten Gods section of the book, 234 if you're there. So now that you have opened your mind, you are considered adepts of the cult. You are not adepts in the sense of these adepts, but you are basically you are now closer to the goddess than normal worshippers, etc. So
we are of the chosen.
Exactly. And so you have the event, there's a couple of advances you can take that specifically reflect this. Closing of the eye, you no longer suffer terror from the supernatural, and choose to take only one stress when you resist mental, ectoplasmic, or spiritual harm, regardless of your role, to resist. And there's also glorious visage. You may extend the thought tendrils of your god from your own mind to those around you, granting them a vision of its formless form. It's a psychic attack that inflicts 3 stress on you. It has an effect determined by your trauma level. So more trauma, more damage. More trauma, more damage.
Mm.
So when you suffer your 4th trauma, your mind is prepared and you ascend to mastery of your cult of your forgotten god. And we'll cross that bridge or blow it up should we get to it. But that's the story for another day. Excellent.
Yeah.
All right, so there you are. Did Junker and Peacock want to continue their conversation?
Oh no, I was just expressing that this was all good, and for some reason thinks it's a bad idea. I mean, mind you, we're all shaking, but it's a good thing.
It's a good kind of shake.
It's a good burn. It's the burn of we just like how you tear a muscle slightly and it grows back stronger. We tore our brains slightly.
No problem. Excellent.
Grow back twice as strong. That's how that works, right?
Something like that, or not, or not anything like that. We're not sure yet. We'll figure that out. Awesome. So
I think we might need a therapist for the cult now.
you need a cult therapist.
Special contact therapist.
Oh my goodness. So how do you feel about the goddess?
I have this nice ghost that will help us.
Exactly. All right, which brings us to our next potential items on the docket. So a couple things. I just want
Say choosing our traumas.
choosing traumas. Yes, that'd be good too. So yeah, think about that again. And a trauma is a another opportunity to make some XP by reacting with it or suffering because of it, that type of thing. So keep that in mind. And I just want to put out there. I think I've brought this up before. A trauma can be played up as much or as little as you want. It could be you can take the trauma and say this is the trauma, but it really doesn't affect my character on a regular basis, period, at all, and that's perfectly acceptable. On the other part of the spectrum, it is an opportunity to get some XP off it and kind of bring some extra drama to the game, that kind of thing. But under no circumstances are you required to act out this trauma. So I just want to put it out there for
Yeah.
those who. All right. So yes, a couple items on the docket, potentially. So some a spirit score potentially. We also again we probably want to look at what's going on with your wanted level. Do we need to frame somebody, or does somebody need to go to the clink for a while?
And we have to decide on the advancement too.
Yeah, in the advances. You guys want to do the bureaucracy part of the show and figure out advancements and that kind of thing?
Yeah, we probably should.
Okay.
Actually, this would be if we this would be a good time because we could explain if we gain a new if we choose the power. This would be a good way to explain how we got it through our deeper most of us got a deeper connection.
Yep. All right. So let's see here. All right. So the question. So we get one special ability or two upgrades. So question is, which way do you guys want to go?
Let's see.
We have a lot of opportunities. So let's go through, just for kicks, let's go through what you haven't chosen under special abilities. They're pretty cool. All special abilities are rather cool in this game. So let's see. Yeah, anointed. You get plus 1d to resist rolls against supernatural threats. You get plus 1d to healing rolls when you have supernatural harm. Bound to darkness. You may use teamwork with any cult member, regardless of distance separating you. By taking one stress, your whispered message is heard by every cultist. So that would be weird, but cool. Conviction. Each PC gains an additional vice, worship. When you indulge in this vice and bring a pleasing sacrifice, you don't overindulge if you clear excess stress. In addition, your deity will assist one action roll that you make from now until you indulge this vice again. Very powerful. Glory incarnate. Your deity sometimes manifests in the physical world. This can be a boon, but its priorities and values of a god are not those of mortals. You have been warned. Sealed in blood. Each human sacrifice yields -3 stress for any ritual you perform. Somewhat helpful on your latest ritual. Zealotry. Your cohorts have abandoned their reason to themselves and devote themselves to the cult, undertake any service no matter how dangerous or strange. And they gain +1 dice to rolls against enemies of the faith. Excuse me. And veteran. Choose ability from another crew. And this can be taken more than once. So this is a veteran. A veteran advance is basically take what you will.
Yes. There's actually a lot of good stuff in the other crews too.
Cool. Does anything stick out to you guys as useful now?
Close.
Or are you looking at, again, we can also look at upgrades and that kind of thing.
I don't know about useful, but certainly dramatically, Glory Incarnate is intriguing.
Yeah.
It is.
I would make an argument for anointed. That's pretty good if we're going to be facing up against spirits and ghosts and stuff.
Here's that.
I mean, my 3 for powers would be Bound in Darkness, Glory Incarnate, and Zealotry. So I think with an idol, zealotry is easily explained in the fiction. Glory incarnate from just from our touch with her, and then bound in
And through
darkness again, just from the the bonding we've had ritually.
Cool.
But there's always stuff too. So
There's always stuff. There's always stuff. Yeah, you can get quality somethings. You do have 2 to go on that side. Let's see here. Or there's always training stuff we can pop in there. Or you can spend it on a vault to have more coin storage, that kind of thing. And also, I believe, functions as a jail cell in your lair.
we can make our Adepts and Thugs elite.
Yep, make Adepts and Thugs elite. Which one is that?
It's in the crew upgrades at the top.
Oh yeah, elite
Unique
Adepts
to
or
our-
elite Thugs.
Yes, that would make them quite good.
Yeah,
True.
an extra dice is not
Yeah, you could
underestimated.
you could actually do
Yeah,
both.
Yeah, you
Adepts
can
and
make them
Thugs.
both elite.
That would be helpful also.
What are your thoughts, Breaker?
No pressure. Oh, a fish. You said talked about the one thing. Anything else work for you?
I was having a hard time following that discussion. It's basically just to refresh me. We can pick one special ability or
Yep.
2
Crew
of
upgrades.
these.
Correct.
Yep.
Okay.
So 2 boxes basically. If you look under like the cult
Yeah.
on the crew mode, you can basically check 2 boxes
Okay.
total. So if it's a 2
So
box
you
thing,
you
or
were talking about the value of a vault, but that would take
Yeah.
the 2
That would take
that would be
both.
the 2 boxes.
Or
Right.
we could save. We
Well,
could,
you
or we could bank them and save them for later. Like, because mastery and ordained both take 3 or 4 respectively. If we want to go for one of
Okay.
those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you can spend like 1 upgrade on a vault, or 2 upgrades. You don't have to spend both of them.
Is that so, or is it having you mark off 2 to get the vault, or to get an A level of the vault? Let's check that out real quick.
I think it's
Yeah.
just 1.
Because I know mastery and ordained, they both require the full 3 or 4 before you can get anything.
Vault just requires 1 upgrade, but there's like 2 levels of it.
Let me check. I remember vault, but I don't remember if it's piecemeal or not.
Well, yeah. The only reason I'm thinking about the vault right now is because you said something that it can also be used as a prison,
Yes.
right? And it seems we've already, I think, at least twice we've had,
Absconded with people.
Oh
we've
yeah,
had
no. It looks
some
like
people in here, and it might be nice to have a prison cell to throw them in.
Yeah, it looks like Cassie is right. So I'm looking at crew upgrades. An upgrade gives you enough coin for 8. A second upgrade increases to 16, and the same thing for boathouse or carriage. For a boat or a carriage, it's like one level will get you the item. A second level gives it with armor and more car.
I see. Okay.
Those
Cool.
work on sequential.
Nice. All right. So
It's
something
just
taken into account.
it's just mastery and ordained that require the full upfront cost.
Gotcha. I would normally say to put this off to like Discord or something, but this is definitely something we want to talk about before we go to a score potentially, or
Yeah.
another activity.
So
no pressure, but you must do this now.
No pressure, but hurry up.
It takes 2 checks to get a vault that's armored.
It takes 2 checks to get a vault that has 16. You see under on the crew mode, there's coin and there's vaults. The first level will just get us another 4 coins worth of space. 2 upgrades of a vault will get us the full ability. Another 16.
So you need the 2 checks in order to use the vault as a prison.
No,
No.
we can use the vault as a prison already. It's just that
Okay.
the second check means our vault can store more money and or more
Okay.
prisoners because it's bigger.
Okay.
All right.
So, and what about special abilities? Was there just when we were going through there, anointed and bound in darkness struck me as being potentially useful.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot of good choices here. There's
Yeah.
really not a bad one either. So that's
Mhm.
pretty. That's what makes this process pretty cool. They're all pretty
Yeah.
awesome.
I say that one of the other ones that are really useful from another crew is Crow's Veil from the Assassins, where you basically no longer take extra heat for killing people.
Leave it to Cassie to find a way to murder more efficiently.
Though with that one, does have a nasty side effect of the spirit wardens can't find them, so anyone you kill is almost certainly going to become a ghost.
Yeah.
Unless you take care of it.
Every kill you make that's not like witnessed so that someone can alert them, you have created another ghost inside the city. That's like that's fresh and brand new.
Yes, due to hard-won experience or
Great.
occult ritual, your activities are hidden from the notice of the Death Seeker crows. You don't take extra heat when killing is involved on a score. That one's a really good one.
Yep.
It is really good.
But it does have that drawback of there's a reason that they're looking for those. Can't do that reason if they can't find them. That's why it's like that plus the other one that lets you kill the spirit when you kill someone. Those two together makes it are really good combination.
Yes.
Cool. So what are you guys thinking?
Ooh.
I know it's tough. No pressure, but pressure.
Yeah, we got I think we have enough. I know we are starting to come up. We are starting to come up against like space issues for coin.
You don't have to. You can just spend it or store it, put it in your stash, that kind of thing.
True. I'll leave something for later because like just the sheer amount of coin that's required to get to the later tiers is it. We'll need a vault to just even have that much. But that's something for one. That's something to worry about like several scores down the road.
Yeah.
All right. So what are you guys thinking?
Oh, I would just go with like anointed because we're probably gonna like be facing supernatural threats soon anyway.
All right. Anybody else have any other thoughts?
Not
I
against
like.
it.
I like the idea of just of. I mean, it's not very adepts and elite thugs. I could see that being quite useful.
Not against that either.
Not a bad decision
Sure.
here.
You were talking about anointed, right? Being
Yeah.
quite useful. Yeah. Yeah, sure.
Okay. I think consensus is anointed. Would you guys agree?
Done.
All right. Anointed it is. You get plus 1d resistance rolls against supernatural threats, and you get 1d to healing rolls when you have supernatural harm. So, excellent. Now I just have to make that one worth your while. Oh well.
Oh, you broke up there. What was that?
Oh, nothing important. All right.
My next upgrade then. Ghost Fighter. I will be the bulwark against all threats, both mortal and supernatural. I wonder if that to my thugs.
You're starting to break up a little bit, just so you know.
Oh, okay. Entire group that can fight ghosts. That'd be something.
Yeah.
That'd be scary. Cool. All right. So to the next thing. Let's keep this flowing. Made some progress here. Okay, so that's the bureaucratic red tape part of the show where we have to stop and do mechanical only stuff. So that's over. So what are we looking at next? We have several things to do. We have Peacock's spirit contact. We can again make that into a score and etc. That's definitely something to look at. We have the fact that you're now wanted to deal with. So you need to think about framing somebody or putting one of you guys in jail for a bit or riding it up. And 3, I know Fish was looking to do, I believe Fish was looking to do a scene where he confronts his father. A cathartic moment. That's on the table potentially, depending on how Fish wants to do it. So where are we going to next, boys and girls? What's our agenda? Don't all, crowd at once.
Let's see.
I was going to say, just to refresh, my spirit contact, Ava, wanted me to kill the person responsible for killing her. And obviously that was someone who, killed a priestess of Shanas.
Yes, it'll be cult on cult violence.
Probably called on cult violence.
We're branching out. We're getting.
Not
we're
that we've
doing
done
some
that before,
assassination work.
but-
True story.
And they probably know we're sort of after, because I believe they saw me do a ritual with Ava.
Yeah,
Cool.
there we go. Forgot.
All
All right.
So, all right. So, as you guys are interested in doing that as like a score type of situation?
I imagine so.
Okay. We'll definitely have to
I
be doing
think
some, fine information type roles, but yeah, we can definitely check that out. Let's see. I'm just kind of curious what kind of score this could be.
Sounds like an assassination.
Well, it's one of those ones where we need to figure out, like, first how we're going to get to the person, and then
Right.
Which approach?
right.
The actual, the operation type.
I mean, it's probably not going to be transport. We'll pretty much narrow that down, but
Yeah. Unless we like basically transport a very large bomb. So
I mean, it very much could be
There you go.
speed violence to a target, but it could also be engaged with supernatural power. So we'd have to see. But is there anything we want to do beforehand? Fish, if you wanted to do anything, or if we want to do anything, free play wise, other than that.
Gotcha. Yeah, Fish. Did you want to do a thing?
Well, I think what Fish wants to do is kind of personal. Wouldn't necessarily involve the group, at least potentially not right away.
Yeah, it doesn't
I'm
have
kind
to.
of thinking to go with this, to put that off for now and go with the score, in part because it's 8:50 Central Time. Let's just so we can get moving on a score.
As you like. Okay. All right. So let's figure out what we know. Probably again. This will. Yeah, I would almost put this under like a long-term type project, that like this research, but I'm willing to absolutely make this into a score. Just this may be a matter of doing the right get information rolls.
Okay.
To kind of set this up. So why don't we do that? Let's figure out what we need to know first. So like, yeah,
we do a score to would would
a score to a
itself
score.
be a score?
Yeah.
a score to unlock the score.
Yeah, I mean, that's doable. But then that kind of puts us back to where do we want to kick that off? What kind of engagement would it be? What information do we need to make it happen? What? So basically, what if we do
I'd
go that
say
direction?
I'd say if we're doing, oh, Siri turned on. If we're doing score to unlock the score, it'd be like records and things of that nature.
Yeah, well, if we try to figure out where the rival cult is, what they're doing, who their leaders are, and which one killed this ghost, stuff like that. So we'd have
Yeah, so I'm
to.
pretty sure I just have a description of the who.
Where you have a description of the who,
Right. But certainly not a clear idea of, what their power base is.
right? So yeah, so let's figure this out. So maybe kind of talking about the engagement will help us figure out what we need to know. So again, I can see like this, an engage if we're doing like the score to open up the score, I could see like any of these, like so anything like stealth. Do you want to break into records like at a Bluecoat, information depot or whatever,
Yeah, so
records,
certainly would have been a report of her murder
right?
because it was a
And
pretty public, area.
right, and it could just be that again the
Was
Bluecoats
that?
maybe didn't put as much into it as they could have. It's a matter of getting the right
It
information.
might have been bought off.
Right. I could see an occult thing where we could bring the spirit into this. This could be I could see us becoming a social thing. Again, it depends on what how we want to do this. Deception, assault even. Yeah, I see it pretty much anything going. Just matter of how you guys want to open this up. That type of thing. How do we want to get this in how do we want to get this information basically? That'll help us figure out the engagement.
I like the idea of the Bluecoats investigating the Bluecoats investigating the investigation. And if they were bought off for the. Oh.
You're breaking all sorts of breaking up.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just okay. For a second, I thought they'd frozen up again. Because even if they were bought off or the investigation was shut, the cover up might still lead back to who was behind it.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, that could be a deception type of engagement. Lure, trick, or
Yeah.
manipulate someone into
Yeah.
giving information.
Deception would probably be fun.
I don't think we've done one yet, have we? A
I don't
I don't think
deception?
we've done.
Not
Yeah, I don't
quite
think
like
we've done
that, no.
deception. No. We've never pulled a deception based heist.
Cool. Awesome. So, all right, let's see how we could do it that way. What? So basically, the method of deception. Let's look at that first. And that'll kind of again, I think once we establish that, that'll kind of give us what we need to do for find information type roles. So like, it sounds like it's a lure, trick, or manipulate. So I could see I have a bunch of scenarios in my head already about how that could go if you're trying to get information out of Bluecoats.
Maybe you could disguise somebody as an inspector that's like investigating this.
Ooh, neat. Oh, that's so cool.
That's going rich.
Yeah.
That would certainly be an option. Getting one, especially inebriated would be an option. If we just wanted to, have them talk. We've sort of established that we like spiking people's beverages and food. So we could always, try and, basically true serum him. I mean, if we had a little bit more detail from a gather info or something, we could, um, you know, basically try and lure him into, the standard. Well, we told you to keep that buried, and now it's come up, and then try and get him to provide additional details,
Oh, like your cops kind of, hey, you're supposed
or
to keep...
like we're the people, like we're part of the people that had him bury it in the first place.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
But that's probably as bold as impersonating an inspector.
Impersonating the people who paid off the
Right.
Okay.
Impersonating the people that we want to try and figure out who we're impersonating.
Ooh, wow. It's like what's the movie? Inception. It's an Inception.
It's very Inception-ish. My only concern with the inspectors is it's very much above our tier.
Because we're going against the Bluecoats, tier 3.
Yeah, we're going against the Bluecoats or the inspectors, depending on how you look at it. And trying
That's
to
true.
impersonate them.
Inspectors are definitely a lot more spoopy than the Bluecoats.
So let's do this. So to go that route, we first need to figure out who is Bluecoat in charge of the investigation type of thing. And this was not like a poor person that was killed. This was someone of means. So that this didn't get solved is weird to anybody who looks at it.
Right.
So step one, you need to find out who was on the job. And that, I'm assuming, is going to be like a gather information via like their like records department or something to that effect, or interviewing people who live in that area and know who walks the beat, or trying to get that kind of stuff. So think about that. If it's cool with you guys, we'll do our break a couple minutes early, just because give you guys a little bit to think about that.
Okay.
And do your eating and hydrating and all that kind of good stuff. So give it some thought. But again, so if we're going that step, if we basically convince this guy, to whoever it is, to come out and give the information to you, you first need to find out who that person is, and I'm not sure actually what else we need to know, but so one or two fine informations, but figure out how we're going to get that information, what that gain information role is going to look like, and who's going to do it. So give us some thought. We'll see you in 10, if that's all right. And so yeah, give us some thought. Sounds fun.
All right. See you in 10.
See you in 10.
All right.
All right, and we're back. Cool. All right. So did you guys give any thought to how we're gonna what kind of information we need to gather, how we're gonna do that?
I mean, finding out who was the, I guess reporting team or investigation team.
Yeah, first on the scene, that kind of thing.
Yeah, whoever who headed the investigation.
Sure.
'Cause I assume they have a hierarchy within the precinct.
Sure. So I mean, so which way would you go? Would you go like try to get information somehow from like one of the precincts, if you will, or like people on the street that in the area where she was killed, or
I think
where?
it'd be so much more fun to get it from the precinct.
It probably would. All right. Are you guys down with something like that? We could still do both. Again, I give you guys two gain information style rolls.
Yeah, so I actually want to team up with Fish and distract him while Fish sneaks in to grab their logbook or something.
Cool. So you'll be assisting the Fish in his
Are you
stealthy
up for that,
pursuits?
Fish?
Sure.
Nice.
Seems bold.
It does.
Well, and I got some skills along those lines. I really haven't used much so far.
Cool. So all right, Full Fish, how would you want to do that? Like basically you're gonna basically walk in and basically go through a couple file cabinets looking for like a report on this. So what action would you be interested to take to do so?
Uh, oh, this is where I'm looking at, yeah, like the survey, the tinker, and that sort of stuff, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see.
I mean, it could just be prowl, but
I think prowl would be fine for this one. Move
in
with
terms of
stealth.
sneaking in,
Yeah,
a portion of things.
prowl's kind of the catch when it comes to just sneaking in.
Yeah.
All right.
Prowl about unseen and transverse obstacle.
Cool.
Yeah, I could see while Peacock is sort of going in and making a blustering noise that I would kind of, I don't know how place is built on the inside. I'm envisioning for some, all this other pop culture keeps flooding my head when I'm doing these things, and I'm envisioning the police precinct from Carnival Row, if you've seen that show on Amazon, which has high ceilings and rafters and things that, if this place was like that, fish could crawl around on up above, not
All right.
have people see them.
Okay. Do you before I ask you if you want to push yourself or not, this does carry some risk. So unlike normally when we're just kind of doing fortune rolls, this will actually be a real honest to goodness potentially going bad roll. So do you want to push yourself, or would you like a devil's bargain potentially?
Oh, I hate to have to keep asking again. If I push myself, I add stress, right?
Correct.
Yep, you had 2 stress.
If I pick a devil's bargain, there's a good chance I'll end up with some sort of harm.
or something bad. But you can ask for devil's bargain. You don't have to accept it.
Oh yeah, well, so tell me what it is. So,
all right. Devil's bargain is you're going to leave behind some kind of like calling card that says "fish was here" type of thing. Like some article of like a bandana or something gets kind of ripped off on a nail on one of the rafters type of thing as you're going past it. So there's a clue that could lead to you.
Wow, what would that be? Well, I just won't wear anything that.
That's not the point of a devil's bargain.
That's not the point.
It's
problem solved.
No,
problem solved.
Just getting a free consequence.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like you'll get the extra dice, but that will happen. That will occur. They will know there's some a clue has been left behind that leads to you.
Well, I get the same extra die whether I push myself or whether I do a devil's bargain, right?
Yes. Right. You just don't spend the stress.
Correct.
Okay, I got stress to spend, so I'll push myself.
I am providing an assist. I am very much, trumping up a charge against some cut purses. And they stole my purse, which I usually don't have much in my purse anyways, so that's easy. And why aren't they doing anything? What sort of, slipshod, place are they running?
Awesome. Cool. All right. Definitely works as an assist. All right. So why don't you make your roll? So you're saying you're doing prowl. You're gonna get 2 bonus die, and wow. I wanna call this a desperate standard.
Now, to be fair, he has infiltrator, so he's not affected by quality or tier.
Right. I'm just for point purpose. Yeah, it basically what's the worst that could go wrong here is the question for position, and The worst
You're
is he's
found
suspended.
sneaking into a Bluecoat office.
That's pretty
Worse
horrible.
is he is. Well, I mean, in this case, you could do clock for this one, so it's not quite feast or famine.
We just want to do the one roll though.
Clock
Or I
to,
would.
he has a clock to acquire the items, and also a clock. Blue coats know that he's in the building.
Well, I'm just making this a gather information type of thing. I don't want to draw this. I don't want to draw this part out.
Yeah, it's true.
Clocks are for the score. I don't want to waste a whole lot of time on this when we could be getting to the
I
real
can
score.
see that. Yeah, that's fair. I can see that.
So I see where you're coming from, and yes, that would work. But again, this is just a gather information roll, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Let's see here. All right. So if you're good with that, let's make a roll.
Desperate?
Yeah, let's go desperate, which
Oh.
means you get an XP, one experience mark off automatically.
Okay.
That
And
would be
then-
for you. Yeah, you get an XP for your prowess.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Cool.
Yep.
Okay, so desperate effect is
Standard,
standard.
and then
okay.
2 bonus die.
All right.
Five. Nice. All right. So basically, what ends up happening? So you succeed. You're kind of. I imagine if you're like, as Peacock's doing his thing, there's like a kind of like in Carnival Row look, like the high ceilings. You had like the cage that extends pretty far into the air, but there's no need to have the thing go all the way to the ceiling. We had like these wooden bars that so you can see through to the other areas and back, and people can interact on either side of this kind of wall. So yeah, you do your thing. I'm not sure if you'd like to do some kind of like suspend yourself or something like that, or actually climb straight down the wall. But as you kind of you're shuffling through, and Peacock is doing the expert, not trying desperately not to look at you, even though this is really, really important. It's about to happen. He's desperately trying not to look at you so that no one else looks at you. But yeah, you're kind of you kind of find there's several file cabinets, and you guys already figured out when the date was. That's not really tough to narrow down. When you find the file, and you're basically shimmying back up the wall, what do you call it? You actually are spotted. You kind of get in there, you get the thing, you're kind of going over the rail, and just to divide, basically because I don't want to kind of do harm every time, but I'm gonna say we're gonna add a couple of heat to the score for this one. So as you get out, Peacock does his job and looks as surprised as everyone. What the hell's going on? Someone just like scaled into a police station basically, and they don't know that you grabbed anything per se, but they definitely know that you're there for no good reason, obviously. But yeah, so we'll add a couple of heat to this. It could have gone a lot worse if it wasn't. If you had rolled a 1 through 3, this would have been a bad time for fish. But yeah, you got a 5, you got a partial success. So yes, you got in, you were spotted getting out. It could have got a lot worse. But yeah, now you guys have your file. So the file gives, as you guys kind of look through the stuff, you see several names. There were 2 Bluecoats who primarily worked on this case. And strangely, again, this is not a pauper or anything that got killed. This is a person of means who lived in a really good neighborhood. And it was strange how it never went above like the beat cop level of investigation. It never got to a investigator or a detective. One of the main signature you keep seeing on there is a guy by the name of Mardigan. Peter Mardigan. and you can actually see their, like, when the Bluecoats do their thing, they submit, like, their notes, and there's another name on there. It was, geez, now I have to make up names. Call him Sam Smith, because who's the other person, the partner, and their notes really don't show up. Nothing from that person shows up at all in this record. It's as if it was, blown off. Their name is on the record as being one of the two people who investigated, but that's the last mention of that name. Otherwise, it's the one guy taking this, Peter Mardigan, taking responsibility for this investigation, and who basically let it die, let it become a cold case that just wasn't solvable.
The other guy's name was Sam Smith. you said?
Yes.
Okay. It's just that I suddenly like the idea that in Duskval, Sam Smith is an exotic sounding name.
Okay. Cool. All right. So yeah, you have your bit of information. It cost you a little bit. What did you guys want to find anything else out, or do you want to jump straight into an engagement?
I mean, I think it would be good to find out more about this guy before we go
Yeah,
in.
it's like we know the guy who potentially buried the investigation. We don't know yet who paid him off or whatever, or what led
Or
to
if he
him
was
in
directly
the
involved.
investigation. But there's somebody else probably behind him who's the one we want to kill.
Gotcha. All right. So
All right.
how do you want to do that? How about Junker and Breaker take that one, whatever that is?
Uh, well, if necessary, I could hunt him down again and
Oh, kind of just
just
follow his movements, see what he does, that type of thing.
it is finding. Uh, yeah, follow about their locations and movements and stuff.
Okay. Neocrete, or I'm sorry, Breaker, would you want to assist in that? Sound like something that would work?
I mean, unless you want to do something else, but that's what she's good at doing.
Sure.
You're on mute, Breaker.
Dang it. Yes, that would be that makes sense. He will assist in that hunt.
Cool. How will you do that? How will you assist?
Lending my commanding presence to investigating, tracking down leads and sightings of this individual.
Oh, maybe like intimidating. The guy goes to the pub and leaves. You're the guy who walks up and asks some quick questions, that kind of thing, and use the intimidation angle to get the answers, everything.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, Junker is all tracking all his movements, place to place to place, and sketching it down, getting an idea of his daily routine, that kind of thing.
She has the string board all across the wall, strings all over the place.
I can totally see that. That's a good one. All right, let's do that. This one I will make just a fortune roll.
All right.
So how do you want to do this? What are you using? You already said you're using hunt.
Yeah.
It definitely sounds like you're hunting, so that's great. You have an assist from Breaker. Did you want to push yourself or do a devil's bargain, anything like that?
No.
All right. Okay. So go ahead and roll your 3+1 fortune. Okay. So I'll give you 2 questions to ask. Between the two of you, both of you kind of did your own part of this. So actually, how about each of you ask a question? Whoever has one first, just jump on in. Jump in the water. It's fine. Trust me.
Well, I imagine she's probably looking for a place where he'll be vulnerable.
Hmm. Nice. All right. So I'm gonna say yeah. He does go to a drug den. It's kind of one. It's kind of as you guys are following him, you find out he's not the cleanest of cops that ever was. He one of the place where it seems like a great place to go to catch him as most vulnerable is this. Again, it's in the same. It's in like the like just outside, outside the island of White Crown. Basically, where would it be? Yeah, like at the docks or Brightstone. This kind of like high end drug shop, basically, like where it's like it looks like people could be going there to conduct business of very on very rich manners and stuff. And in the back, you have the cigar room, which in this case is the like opium room. So yeah, so that's basically it's like a club, a gentleman's club, if you will, a hellfire club, perhaps even it could be called. Bricker, do you have a question?
No, he's vulnerable. Oh no. Wait, anyone have a suggestion? I'm willing to take suggestions. Kind of blank.
I mean, did you see who he interacted with? Because just knowing he's a dirty cop doesn't mean, it just means he maybe buried the case. But,
That's true.
if he, stopped at, so and so's, mansion or something, that's another.
That's actually, yeah. Is he connected to anyone that I can tell, or is he beholden, or who is his contacts, or who is he owes or works for or works with?
Gotcha. So you don't see any interaction between him and like anyone of like means. However, as you guys are kind of doing your thing, Breaker's probably walking, right behind him on, at the entrance to the gentleman's club, and you do overhear a conversation between him and like the doorman, um, you know, Mr. you know, Mr. Martin. I almost said Oculari. That's Ocular in this game. Mr. Martin. Mr. Martin has put a little something extra in your cabinet tonight. He thanks you. Yeah. So it doesn't take much asking around to figure out that Martin refers to Giles Martin, who is also a White Crown resident. And someone of means, a merchant, probably has some stock in a Leviathan ship. Doesn't own one himself, but has
Is a shareholder.
interest in it, a shareholder in it.
It wouldn't have been the ship that drifted into the harbor with no crew on board.
Ooh, is it? That's another question. If only you had one more question, but you don't.
Oh, we should have got the whisper thing where Fish could have whispered the question from across town.
All right. So all right. So those are your questions. Now let's figure out our engagement. Let's see. So I think we settled on deception. Is that so?
So
What is the method? You're basically going to trick him into giving up whoever it was. Is that the case?
So a
And
thought I
he-
had is, the standard, send a note from the other, to get one to, a meeting place, and then,
Yeah. Well,
one of us, probably Peacock could represent the agent, of the individual in question, and we can try to draw it out of him.
It seems
With,
like
of course, the failover of we kidnap him and let's or let
we
Breaker
toss them in
break
our
him.
vault.
it seems like it would be easier to like hit him. Well, it's like why ask where is he vulnerable? It seems
Right.
like it would be easier to get him while he was in the Gentleman Club, and like Peacock could like go in
Or-
there to the Gentleman Club and like try to talk him up or something.
Yeah, that could be. That's a better route, which is try and consort with him there to get him to, talk and blab about his, patrons while he's under the influence of whatever drug the drug den specializes in.
Cool. All right.
Um,
Would you guys all be there for that? Like, kind of like maybe Peacock's going in as like the main hook, but someone's like Breaker as like a bodyguard for the representative, and you guys kind of like in the
Yeah.
background type of thing, ready to jump
Yeah.
in or do whatever it is you do.
I mean, one of you could also pose as an aide or a servant.
Mhm.
So
we got a full entourage, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's be a full entourage for this agent. So yeah, that
If
worked too.
you don't mind, getting a little dressed up.
A lot dressed up for Fish.
Well, I mean, just standard servant's clothes, but
Cool.
I'm not your son or daughter this time.
absolutely not.
No, now you're just a servant. I'm not sure if that's an up
okay.
or down from that position.
Yeah.
So
Servant's actually probably a step below that.
Yeah. So just to understand what we're trying to do is, to some extent, impersonate a representative of whoever it is who paid him off.
I think
Find out who that person
not necessarily in this case.
Okay.
The way I think we're going with Junker's alternate to the plan, which is to basically chat him up while he is under the influence of his favorite vice, where he feels the most comfortable, most relaxed.
Mhm.
Get him to talk, hopefully successfully, without having to, execute plan B, which is, the kidnap and torture.
Yeah. That
See,
sounds like a social plan.
I mean, I know that's normally our plan A, but, this would be like plan B.
all right.
That sounds
Okay.
like a social plan then.
All right. So let's
It
do
does
that.
actually. Well,
Oh, yeah, it does
But
sound like
this-
social plan.
Yeah.
It could be either. Let's see what we have here.
the manipulate.
I think
if
you're
we
more
went with
manipulating.
manipulate under deception.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It could be that I'm trying to, impersonate someone who wants to hire him for,
Oh, yeah.
or to see that some of my special cases are handled, and I don't know if he's really the one unless he can, prove that, he's capable of it.
Cool.
Yeah, that sounds fine.
All right. That's all. All right. So that makes a boatload of sense. I'm on board with that plan. Let's see here. So let's first of all, I do want to state that so with load, this plan will get harder if anyone goes above light load. If you look like you're ready for action in any sense, that's going to take away. That's going to give you a negative die for this.
I am fine with light load myself.
I'm fine with light load.
Yep.
Okay, I just want to put it out there before we
So
even.
this
get
isn't our normal.
Exactly. All right. Let's see. All right. So is everybody going light then? Is that what I'm hearing?
All right.
All right. Yeah. Just wanted to have like grenades hanging off her belt still. Like these are decorative grenades.
Yeah.
These are
Junker does not like going light.
these are vials of holy.
Can we do
paint.
something weird like if somebody wants to do a normal or heavy load, describe it or disguise it as just part of the vain accoutrement that Peacock has his servants drag around with him?
That's funny, but no.
Oh.
Carrying a spare change of clothes.
Nice. All right, so let's figure this out, boys and girls. We got our loads. We got our detail. We got an engagement here. This is good. All right, so let's start off like usual. So let's see here. So we have one die just for luck, for blind luck. Is it particularly bold or daring? I don't think so. And I don't think it's not overly complex or contingent on many factors. It absolutely is not. So if you're cool with that, we'll add no dice from that or remove. Does the plan's detail expose vulnerability of the target or hit them where they're weakest? Absolutely. So that's one die. Definitely not strongest. Now, let's see here. Let's go. I'll talk to you later. Can any of your friends or contacts provide aid or insight into this operation? What's the name of your buddy? God, you're gonna make me look it up, aren't you?
I'm looking it up right now. Crew Hutchins.
Hutchins, yes. Hutchins, I could see helping you out with this. That's kind of, along with Peacock, this is kind of his crowd, if you will. His scene. So if you guys are willing to bring him in on the score, I'll say and get another die for that. Are you guys good with that? Okay. Other elements. I'm not going to bring Tyr into this because it's a single person. He doesn't represent, in this case, the whole brunt of the Bluecoats. This is him. So I'm not going to worry about Tyr on this one. So right now you have 3 dice going into this. Who hasn't rolled an engagement roll in a while?
I don't think I have in a while.
Okay, why don't you go ahead and do it then?
And how many dice was it again? I'm sorry.
3. It was 1 die. Just kidding. It was 3 dice. It was 3 dice.
I was gonna say that was yesterday's.
Yeah.
3 dice.
Five?
There it is.
Okay, so risky. So here's let me think here. What's a good scene? Okay, so you guys, he has a private room that he does his thing in. As you guys kind of went into the gentleman's club, you kind of had to pass by, kind of like doormen in the sense of, does this person get in here or not? And you guys pass. A couple of you probably raise a couple eyebrows, but hey, not everybody can afford top-notch help these days, and certainly not well-dressed help these days. But yeah, you guys kind of follow him in. He's already been doing his thing in his private room. These rooms are off. If you can imagine, like, there's a large room where it's just like those rich men's clubs where you see like the leather chairs and the bookcases and everything is in dark, heavy woods. And along 2 of the walls are personal like cubbies with like locks and fronts on them. Basically, a person goes to their number or name, gets their unlocks their thing and gets their personal stash, and then goes to a private room off to the side if they aren't interested in hanging out with the others at the club. And your guy is in such a place, and you probably give him a few minutes to do his thing. These contrary to what the pamphlets you see handed out on the street corner, these drugs generally don't take effect like literally immediately unless they're like rage potions, in which case yes they fucking do, and it's terrifying. But yes, so you give him a little bit. And next thing you know, you're in the room. The probably, breaker is probably at the rear. You can hear the click of the lock. And the guy is basically, he's like taking off his shirt. He's like his pants suspenders are up, kind of hold him up, and he has a big long pipe. What he does have still strapped to him is his gun. And he immediately like rests his hand on it and unflips the thing as you guys walk in. He doesn't know you, and he's fucking high. He is so high right now. So yes. So so you are in a precarious position here. What do you do?
I'm going to try and placate him. Oh no, the proprietor said that this was my room for the hour. You don't mind if I join you, friend?
He
I
kind
do
of
have a bottle of fine whiskey that I can share.
that is like the best load implement that Peacock could have. It's
Why
amazing.
not? It's a useful item.
Yeah, it is. Awesome. Cool. Yeah,
Please,
so you bring
let's
it out, and the guy
let's
he has
sit and both enjoy a pipe.
yeah, he has these big this big handlebar type mustache. He kind of twitches, and why don't you go ahead and what do you want to do this? Let's make a roll. Is this a
I'm trying to
sway?
convince him, but it might be more well,
That
this
could
is
be
more sway.
yeah.
So I'm trying to charm him into,
Okay.
you know, not shooting me.
Yeah.
Or sorry, not raising a fuss.
All right, so let's call it a risky standard. And did you want to push yourself, devil's bargain? Anyone assisting in this?
Anyone have an idea for an assist?
Let's see.
Oh, fish out of the bag on his side could pull out two nice cut glass wine glasses and kind of take them together just to make not wine in this case, like a whiskey,
shot?
little whiskey, yeah, shot
Yeah,
glass,
little whiskey
Yeah.
snifters.
to make the alcohol look even more
Ooh.
enticing.
All right, why don't you go mark it off as a useful item on your load. That sounds cool.
Okay.
All right, so that's definitely an assist. So yeah,
Useful item.
all right,
That's what. Oh, this is actually called somewhere useful item.
we'll call
Yeah,
it
I don't
that.
know if you actually have that on your sheet.
Oh, maybe you don't.
Okay.
Just a pistol. It's fine.
Yeah, shot glasses, pistols, same difference.
Yeah. A blade or two. They could break the
A
edge.
shot-
and use it as a
That you
blade.
could you could use them as a blade if you
Yeah.
break
If you
them.
if you
Yeah.
can't if you don't have it, I'm willing to let it slide. No pun intended.
Or
Get it,
I'm
Peacock?
repurposing the
slide.
silent potion vial.
Oh no! Oh, that's gonna make this roll interesting. You had to go there.
If you
All right.
can't talk, this is gonna be a
I'll do a
problem.
blade or two.
This will be a problem, Fish.
All right. So yes, definitely an assist one way or another. So go
Okay,
ahead and
taking the extra die.
all right. Are you pushing yourself or double bargaining it?
I better although I'm a bit reckless and forward with this, I think I also don't want to get shot. Because then I would have to run from this place, and I don't know if you've looked at his picture, but he's not exactly built for running.
Not a sprinter.
Not a
Also-
sprinter.
Also, it'd have blood everywhere, which is just deplorable.
Absolutely.
I don't mind buying new clothes, so
All right. Go ahead. Push yourself. So nice.
geez, even all that, and it's only a
It's only a 4.
Dang, yeah,
4.
shoot.
All right. So he's like, you can see him his like lips twitch. He's like, I like the cut of your jib. Why don't you bring that bottle over here? And he kind of like he takes a puff off his pipe. And he's like, you, the cute one over there, and he points to Fish. Why don't you come over here and hold my pipe for me? And you can see he's now the euphoria is going on, and he does take the gun out and just kind of like rest it on his side, just like it wasn't. It's not even a violent like statement. He's just so high. It's like it's an affectation. Like he wants to touch things and move around. So his gun is now out and like just laying on his lap. He hands off the pipe to Fish, and he gestures to start filling those glasses.
which I do for him, of course.
I suppose you can stay. He kind of takes a sniff of the whiskey, and you can tell it's like whatever he's on, it's like amplifying his senses. So even like the touch of the glass is kind of pleasurable for him. And he like sips it back slowly. He almost like falls straight off his chair, off, rolling it backwards, but then kind of regains his balance and like, oh, you can stay. It's a party now. It's a party.
Yeah, Junker's just trying to be unobtrusive. Maybe you should like just run around, going around the room like straightening up things.
Sure. He's like, so to what do I owe the honor of this? Are you bribing me? Are you bribing me?
I'm like, oh, surely I did come to the right person.
So you're bribing me.
Of course I am.
Oh.
What sort of business happens without a little bit of grease?
Oh. He kind of gestures for another shot. He's like,
You
well,
know, I
you
pour.
keep pouring and keep talking. We'll see what we can come to, okay? Because this is not cheap here. This is not cheap. He kind of gesture. Yeah, he's like gesturing around with the shot glass. This is not cheap. All this here.
Like I'm looking for a man of your skills who can, shall we say, get me out of some legal entanglements. But I want to make sure that you have the authority to do so.
He kind of looks over to Fish and gestures. He wants you to put the pipe in his mouth for him, because that keeps both his hands free for gun and shot glass. Assuming Fish helps him out, he takes a long pull off of the pipe, and you guys are starting to get just a little contact buzz going on. By the way, it's hard to not at this point. It's like it's now billowing out of him. He's like, all right, so what's your problem, friend?
Like I need to, shall we say, do some, well, have some dirty work done, and I look to Breaker. Stuff that might result in bodies. And I know that's so complicated to sweep under the rug.
It's like,
and I don't know if you're up to the task.
he like the gun now moves to point at Breaker. It's like, oh, you're the tough one of the group, are you? Oh, I've seen a lot of tough guys, and then they get shot in the knee, and you know what happens? They're not tough guys anymore. Are you a tough guy? Are you a tough guy? And he's not going to give up until he gets some kind of response from you, Breaker.
Oh my.
And I'll require a roll for it. Nope. No pressure.
I have an idea, but it could go like this could work or it could go terribly.
Be a scoundrel.
Be a scoundrel. It's about risk. It's about risk.
I'm going to command him. Let's see here. How about you pull that trigger and you'll find out one way or another.
So if you succeed, he shoots you.
Well, I'm basically intimidating him to I'm making him too intimidated to risk shooting me.
Okay. So you're trying to show him you're so tough that he won't shoot you, and
yeah, I'm trying to intimidate him into like this is. Maybe I shouldn't try and kneecap this guy. This might cause problems.
Better just shoot him in the head.
And that's why we don't let Fish talk to the marks. All right. Well, this is going to be another. This will be This is. I want to call this a desperate. This could go very badly.
Yeah, no, because if he gets pissed off, he will just simply kneecap my ass.
He pretty much will. All right. So risky.
Well, he can try.
Risky standard, and mark your XP. Did you want any kind of pushing yourself, devil's bargain?
Oh, you bet. Let's see here.
I don't see how anyone could really assist in this one, but I'd be willing to
Yeah,
hear.
it's all me. Oh yeah.
Well, because of the whole pipe thing, Fish is standing right next to him. Is he a left? Which side am I on, and is he a lefty or a right?
Well, he's holding the gun in his left hand. You're on his right side,
Okay.
and shot glass on the right.
Okay.
And then I'm assuming Breaker would be like towards the left front type of thing. So you would be kind of his offside type of thing.
Okay. I can keep it. I can have my eyes glued on his trigger finger, and if I see it flinch in any kind of way, I'm going to knock the shot glass out of his hand, and it distracts him as he's trying to shoot.
Okay, so
But only
in
if
order,
he decides to shoot.
well, in order for you to assist, you're going to have to assist. So if you want to
Yeah.
like knock the
I've
shot
gotta
glass out to
actually
kind of
do something. Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can like knock the shot glass out of his hand to kind of like discombobulate him. I will be willing to say that's worth an assist.
All right, I'll do that.
All right. All right, so you got an extra die. You want to push yourself too, or devil's bargain?
What would a devil's bargain be?
Oh, gosh, that's a tough one. It's already the what you're trying to avoid is already pretty shitty. So wow, I'll say that he will remember your freaking face, and you will meet him again. Should he survive?
Yeah, it doesn't sound like a bad deal.
Except for the
You are
one
known
we
to a
already have.
corrupt Bluecoat. He knows you. Well, I am gonna need some trauma available for. Oh, I don't know. Let's see. I'm doing the trauma math because it's like I don't want to go into trauma from resisting this shot to the knee. 5, 6, 4.
No pressure. You just have to roll the dice and 5.
You know what?
4.
I'm taking the bargain.
Okay. All right. So that's and you're commanding. You already said so that you get 2 bonus die, and this is desperate standard. So mark your resolve.
Yeah.
Is it resolve? Yeah, it's resolve.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's a.
Let's do it.
Damn it!
Oh!
All right.
He's like, so yeah, so you see like the thing, the glass or whatever gets knocked out of his hand, and he kind of looks over and he looks back at you and he meets your eyes, and like you can tell. I mean, this is the look you've given a lot of people, where like, yeah, I fucking dare you to try. You get one shot only, type of thing. But he's like, you really are a badass, aren't you? I like you. And you can see him. He like uncocks the gun and puts it back in his lap. He's like, I like him a lot. Where's my glass? Where's my pipe? I like him. You're my friend now. Pipe. He's like. Hopefully, Fish is on it. He's like, where'd my shot glass go? Where'd my glass? I need more whiskey. Come on, grease these wheels. Come on.
The pipe was in his mouth, right?
No, you're holding it. So he's having
He
you.
wanted it back.
He's having you hold it and basically serve it to him. You will hold it while he puffs off it, so he can hold the shot glass in one hand, the gun in the other.
Oh,
You are his servant right now.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I'll basically stick the end of the pipe in his mouth. Right.
Yep. So this he kind of like fumbles around, gets that shot glass back in his hand. Like, these wheels need more grease, rich man.
Like,
Whew.
I mean, not without some semblance of understanding that you're capable of the work.
What do you mean?
I mean, is this something that you're capable of doing? Is this something you've done before?
Like what? Hiding bodies?
No, bearing the case.
Oh, that's
I
much
can.
smarter.
I mean, I have people to take care of the bodies.
Like my friend. You take care of bodies, don't you? It's like, and sometimes just before they get cold, you get no. He's like, okay. He kind of rearranges himself. And he's like, let me tell you, I've made many a case disappear. There have been highborns, lowborns, middleborns, you name it. I've helped them out. My word carries a lot of weight back at the station. Trust me. It's like, what the? You kind of like, kind of seem like, whisper to himself, and he's kind of going around in a circle. The drug is definitely fully on him right now. He's like, I don't know what you don't keep like a resume of this kind of thing. I've done this before. Just trust me on that one.
I have contacts I can talk to, but let's just say it makes an awkward dinner conversation to bring up at a fine party. Like to ask, which blue coats are in whose pocket.
Mm. Well, no.
Maybe
I'm in nobody's pocket. I just take their money.
Of course.
And he's like, and he brings the gun up to do that scolding, like, don't you tell me I'm owned by anybody, because I'm not. I'm not. Not.
Like maybe if you provide a reference, I can ensure we can continue our transaction.
All right, go ahead and
After all, I have money, and bliss isn't free.
all right. Let's do this. Actually, I probably should have done this before. Let's go ahead and I'll put a clock out real quick, and it'll be basically a matter of goes. There you go. So it'll be a matter of you kind of breaking him down. So it's going to be a quick clock. I think it's safe to say you guys have already done 2 the 4. So go ahead and what kind of action do you want to do to kind of drag this out of him? Once the clock completes, he'll spill his beans, basically.
I don't think this is really consort. It's bringing up, like heritage and, background type stuff, but it's not necessarily talking with them directly.
It
I
could be a
still think
sway.
this falls under sway. I'm willing to do consort, but
Well, you tell me what you want to use. I think either of those would really work.
I think it's still sway. I think I'm still trying to.
You're trying to get it out of him, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to
Convince him, yeah.
deceive him, and convince him that this is really the that if he provides this information, there's a paycheck at the end of it.
Oh, sure. Okay. All right. Go ahead. Do you want to do any pushing?
Pushing, pulling.
Pushing, pulling.
What's the
Those
position?
bargains.
Do you tell me the position or?
Oh, it'll be. I think if he didn't have the gun, it would be controlled. So it'll be risky standard.
Okay. What would a devil's bargain be?
Devil's bargain be, well, he also knows your face, and he will come into contact with you that much sooner.
I think that's more risk for me than it is for Breaker, because Ava is in his district.
Ooh.
I am going to.
And he remembers me, but he won't remember you. Unless make sure he does with his bargain. Yeah.
I'm going to push myself instead.
Okay, mark the
Marked
stress.
stress.
All right. So sway +1 die
Yep,
and risky standard. Five.
Okay, there's a 5.
All right. Willing to say that. Let's see. So that's. I think it actually does mark it out.
I mean, for downtime, it's 2, but
Yeah, I'm good with that. Boom.
Yep.
All right. Cool. All right. So let's see. So this is a tough one. I don't know how to make it a partial success. Because I mean, you completed the clock like I wanted you to. You succeeded. He's gonna tell you. How about I'm gonna basically make it so he's gonna break, but he won't give you the actual name. That's gonna take one more clock potentially. Let's figure it out. So yeah, he's like, okay. So you want to know what I do? Okay. So let me tell you, this rich lady, and over in White Crown, she was this. you have you seen all these little cults popping up around? Oh, it's so laughable. There's like 4 people in the whole world, and they call themselves a cult. So yeah, she was one of those, and she was in this little garden, and then this individual, he took care of her, if you know what I mean. I think you do. He kind of looks over the fish and kind of, I think you do. And he did the thing, and then he came to me. He gave me blood on his hands. Can you believe it? The money he gave me, the coin he gave me was stained. But, it spends the same once you wash it off. So then I basically made sure my partner was, gave him a couple, coin himself and got him on his way. And I kind of took control of the whole place. So it's all a matter of who gets the paperwork. If I make the paperwork sound like it's nothing, can't go anywhere, then the lazy detectives above me, they don't want to go looking at stuff. So you just show them how insignificant it is and how unsolvable it is, and they get promoted based on how many cases they actually solve. Well, you give them an unsolvable one, and guess what? They don't want to do it. It's that simple. I rely on the sloth of my superiors, and it pays off every time. So how's that? Is that enough? Is that enough for you to give me some more grease? Where's that whiskey at?
I pour him another shot of the whiskey.
Yeah, if you, I'll say that if you want to,
we are almost down to the last bit of whiskey.
Yeah, if you want to try one more roll, and let's see if you succeed, we'll give up the name. We'll call it the score.
Yeah.
Unless anyone wants to butt in and kind of do their own thing. I don't want to take spotlight away from everyone else. If you guys can help, please, now's the time.
I have something I want to do, but it's really badly, but I don't think it would help.
Well, be a scoundrel, Junker.
Breaker starts punching on him and just tell me the name.
No. Well, Junker, what's your thought? What do you want to do? You should get into this.
Well, if he actually looked like he was going to shoot somebody or attack, I was just going to sneak up behind him and like shock him.
No, he's not there yet.
Don't need the answer.
Yeah. if you want to do something to try to get the final answer out of him, now that you could certainly go for that. That's where we're kind of going here.
Is that your final answer?
It may be,
Let's see.
or this may be a kidnapping. We're not sure yet.
Dun, 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 dun.
Uh,
But I would like to get Junker involved. Junker and Fish haven't had a real big hand here.
I don't know what I could do at the moment.
Some kind of intimidation is good. You can, or just you could do some kind of, study or use your own consort or whatever. You're allowed to jump in here. Peacock is just kind of in his element right now, but that doesn't mean that everyone else can't participate for certain.
He is, inebriated enough that, maybe he just needs a little push of, a chemical of sorts to get him to talk a little more freely.
Possibly, yeah.
I mean, I think you have access to such things.
Let's see.
Well, let's see.
Let me look at that right quick. Let's see.
You definitely have your bandolier of chemicals, which could include such an item, a true serum style item to push him over the edge.
They are, but
yeah, we could try the trans powder again.
Oh, jeez.
That didn't work out too well the last time, though.
Well, now it's this time.
I mean, if he's, maybe doped up enough, maybe I can just ask him, what is his name and, get it out of him.
Let's see. I think that's the only alchemical that might help.
Go for it then.
I assume there'd have to be a roll to get it in him.
Yeah, at this point, I would more make this. It's like, again, he's not going to turn down anything, so I would almost make if you want to roll your like tinker as a fortune roll. That would probably be.
I can just like hand the powder to Fish, and Fish just slips it into his pipe.
Oh, that's a good one too. All right.
Like while he's not looking, basically.
Oh, that's really cool. All right, so that gives you both an option.
Unless Fish has been packing his pipe for him, maybe if he's looking, he may not realize what's happening.
All right, so okay, let's go with that. I think this could finish this off potentially. So, Junker will be assisting with mark a load, but assisting with giving the trans powder chemical, and Fish, just to see how unnoticeable you are. What do you want to do to what action you want to use to get it in there? If you're successful and the trans powder hits, then he will talk.
Oh, well, I'm holding the pipe, right?
Yep.
He's just, and his whatever it is that he's got in it, there's a supply, I assume, nearby. And so Fish has taken it, or I've taken it upon myself, manage the pipe for him as I'm doing that, to keep putting a little extra. And and in the process of doing that, I'm slipping the trans powder in at the same time.
Okay. So what just because I want you to roll for that, what kind of action are you going to use to get it in there kind of unnoticed by him?
Oh, okay.
What's your action?
It's so complicated. Why can't we just do it?
I know. I just want to make it official, mechanical official that we won.
Okay. No, I know. Survey location, tinker, modify to disable trap, use the Finesse and finesse, I would think.
All right.
I
Finesse.
mean, it says finesse from someone's pocket, but essentially, I'm
Yeah,
finessing.
this is exact. Yeah, that works. That works.
Yeah. Okay.
Did you want to push yourself?
Sure.
Okay, so spend the stress, and Junker giving you the drugs is the assist. So basically, finesse plus 2 bonus die.
Yeah, sorry.
Not at all.
Okay. So I'm the one who's rolling the die.
Yep. Yep. So
Okay.
in this case,
Risky, you said.
yeah, it'll be risky standard,
Okay.
and then
2 bonus die or
2
what?
bonus die.
Oh, okay. What do we get?
Yeah, that does it.
Oh, cool.
So, and everyone else looking at Fish doing this all they can think is he's done this before. But yeah, he basically slips the powder into the pipe. Pipe goes into the mouth, and he like puffs on. And he's like, "Yeah, you just ask. You just go. If you're looking for some clarification on how good I do my job, how good shit gets buried, you go ask." And he's like, you can see he's like, maybe that was a little too much. He's starting to fade here. You talk to Maximilian Corrigan. He's the guy with the blood on his hands.
We got it.
And with that, he basically slumps forward in his chair. Gun drops to the ground, does not discharge. Shot glass also falls to the ground, and he probably is not going to die.
Well, I mean, the drug is not usually.
I know. I'm just making it. No, yeah. He's now gone. So you guys will quietly make your getaway, and we'll call that the score.
There we go.
All right.
Can I add a little business to that? I was just thinking about.
Absolutely, please do.
He drops the gun, and so Fish picks it up, takes the bullets out, and tosses the gun to. I'm sorry, what's it? Breaker. Did I get your
Yep.
name right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, it's just because I figure it's the kind of souvenir that you'd like to hang on to for the job.
A Bluecoat's gun can always come in
Yeah.
handy. Planting
Yeah,
at a crime scene.
and I'll give you the bullets too, but I
Hmm.
don't want to toss the gun across the room with bullets in it.
Safety
Smart man.
first.
Yeah.
Very smart.
All right, awesome. Yeah, definitely. That's cool. Cool add-on. All right.
Wow.
So we did quite a lot. We still have time here. So if you guys are good, well, let's go through the sequence of events here.
I
Yeah.
had an idea. Oh my, this gun might actually be quite useful.
Oh yeah.
We do need someone to take the fall for crimes.
Ah. Oh.
It's a
Maybe this
twofer.
guy just so happened to be doing a lot of crime, and he also just so happened to kill
Um,
someone that we might
yeah.
be killing soon.
And he's vain enough to have engraved the handle of his gun or something.
Well, they all have serial numbers on them. You know, you can't.
Yeah.
You have to know
Okay.
whose gun
Sure,
is
yeah.
whose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, interesting.
That might be quite good. Yes.
All right, so let's go through this quick. All right, payoff. I'm gonna say this really isn't in the eyes of in the eyes of the cult, it probably would be something of note. You're trying to avenge the death of a cult member who is,
A senior.
a senior-ish member, perhaps, or at least well-to-do to offer means to the cult. So I'll call this a small job. This is 4 coin, so everybody gets
Okay.
1. Let's see, and again, we can talk about that if you don't believe that's correct. Rep.
That's fair.
Let's see, rep 2 rep by default, and I'm not bringing tier into this at all, so let's just call it 2 rep.
All right.
Let's see. Eat. um, I'm actually almost willing to call this smooth and quiet, low exposure. There's
Except
nobody.
for the front end, we got a little humidity.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's right. You did get the 2 heat. So let's call this a total of 2 heat because you guys really did contain this. Is nobody knew about this? Nobody really, you know, no alarms were raised. No, this guy's not going to be reporting anything to anybody really. So yeah, let's call it 2 heat. So let's see. So you guys are now wanted level 1 with 2 heat. Let's see here. Heat. we were talking about incarceration, but that's for another time. Let's see here. Entanglements. Let's see here. All right, so your heat is right now only 2. So right now we're rolling your wanted level. So who wants to roll the 1 die for your wanted level to figure out your entanglements?
Let's see. I could roll.
All right, go for it. So just 1 fortune die.
Oh, you can click on wanted level directly. You can click on wanted directly to roll for it.
Oh, you can?
Yep.
Okay.
Let's see. Wanted. Where is the wanted level?
On the crew mode. Right
Down
next
by
to heat.
heat and coin underneath the territory.
Yep.
Okay, there we
Oh, damn. Of all the times you want 1. Let's see here. Gang trouble. That sounds reasonable. Let's see. One of your gangs or cohorts causes trouble due to their flaws. We still don't know exactly what your flaws are. We really should hammer that out one of these days.
Mhm.
Let's see here.
Question is the thugs or adepts? This has bearing on my downtime activities.
There's that.
Yeah. Maybe the adepts cause trouble.
It was the thugs last time, and then I taught them a lesson. So maybe the adepts are getting uppity now.
Right,
They're
because
angry.
they didn't get to participate
Yeah.
in
They didn't get to
that
participate.
enlightenment. Yeah.
Exactly. Now they're upset, so they
Okay.
got uppity.
So maybe they drew attention or something like that. Not to they may have like endangered your secret lair. Of course, it's not uncovered, or it will not be uncovered. But they did something stupid in their thoughtlessness. So you can forfeit rep equal to your tier +1, so two rep. Right now you have 4 rep, or one of them has to be taught a lesson.
I would like to teach one a lesson. Actually, I'd like to teach the rest a lesson by teaching one a lesson.
Oh, excellent. All right, how do you do that?
So part of my downtime activity, I have this thing called a ritual.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Yes, exactly. So after I, had laid eyes on this Maximilian at one point, I decide to show off the power of this, new artifact that they so covet, these adepts. Or at least have it participate in my ritual. And I, of course, need one of them to, to help as, an honored participant.
Oh my god.
Extra special participant.
The most eager volunteer, of course, is the one who's also looking to, make up for the fact that they, may have, talked or, been seen outside our house.
Well, just to make this not as evil as it could be, this will not actually be one of the 2 named adepts. This will be one of the new ones.
Okay.
You don't name what you're going to kill.
Yeah.
We're not farmers here, but
We're not farmers, but yes.
Oh my! Oh no! We're raising adepts just to be used as ritual fodder. We're farming adepts.
So then I do enact the ritual of the drowned man for Maximilian Corrigan, which is the most befitting way to
Yeah,
to destroy him and please Shanas at the same time.
yeah. We want to try to like frame him for some stuff though first. I
I
think
mean,
you could.
to be fair, we could always we do have that gun. We could use it on someone else if need be.
I don't want to frame one of our adepts for something. Well, that's
What
true.
we have,
Yeah.
For him.
As far as I know, with the rituals, usually you can like do the sacrifice and then hold the ritual to like do it later.
Mm.
That's usually how rituals work, I think. So it's like you could like do the sacrifice now, and then we could go on a score to frame him, and then use it during the score, maybe.
That makes more sense in how they act.
Okay. Or so who are you looking to frame? I suppose is a better question. Just for
So your thought is to frame this Maximilian for something
Yeah, to like
related to, but it has to be related to our gang specifically, right?
yeah.
well,
He's doing. He's
that's
probably yeah. What I was saying is he's probably a cultist in a rival cult, so we can frame him for cult stuff that we did, and blame it on his cult.
and then he gets smoked down by the supernatural forces he's been playing with. We can
Or he
frame
goes
that.
to prison.
After arrested and found guilty and on his way to prison.
gotcha.
Yeah,
That sounds like a good plan.
Okay.
yeah,
Well, I
Well-
mean, to be fair, as long as everyone thinks he was the guilty party, that's the most important part. If he just so happens to die in custody,
yeah.
Gotcha. So why don't we save the downtime activity for
Yep.
next time? So use
Okay.
your so that'll kind of bring it home at that point.
Yep.
Okay.
I can do that.
Okay, cool. So but I will count this gang trouble as resolved.
And I like the plan, Junker.
yeah, it's a good one.
Cool. All right. Downtime activities. Let's see here. How much time do we have? We have 10 minutes. We've done more with less, boys and girls. Let's see. Well, let's see how far we get. Let's go for let's see. Oh, Fish, why don't you start us out? What's the first downtime activity? No pressure. Actually, a lot of
Okay,
pressure.
yeah.
There's so much pressure.
I kind of liked it when we had to wait a week for this, because then I could cook up something
Me as well.
interesting. But yeah, because under pressure, I'll basically do.
What would you guys rather do?
training.
XP? Make sure we get XP done this
Well,
time.
Let's do
actually,
XP
what
and then we can
what
push
did
down
we?
time
Wait, what did we? When we were picking abilities, was it for the gang? We pick one. I'm so much went by. There was one that meant that if I did, I thought that if I did my vice to relieve stress, if I over relieve
That's
stress, there would be no consequence.
that's one of the shows. We didn't choose that one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right then.
Okay, so let's do this. Since again we keep kind of forgetting everything we did, let's do XP right away, since that's most likely to be forgotten in detail for next time, and then
Okay.
that'll give you guys time to cook up your downtime activities for next session. Sound good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Works
Well,
for me.
Fish, you're still not off the hook. Let's go.
Fish is on the hook. Have we done this joke before?
I don't think so. I think this is the first time.
Okay. It's a mean joke.
It is a bit.
I addressed a challenge with stealth or evasion. I did that at least twice.
I think so.
I
Yeah.
don't know, 3 times. One in the police precinct. Well, I don't know, would pulling out the shot glasses, would that would seems like a vague.
That's misdirection and stuff. Yeah, well, that works.
Yeah. And stealth again when I was surreptitiously loading his pipe.
Yeah, so we'll call it what, 2
I
XP
was
for that.
thinking 3.
There is no
Those are
3.
3 distinct. What?
There is no 3.
Oh, well, then I guess it'll be 2.
There you go. 2.
All right.
So the next one.
You expressed your beliefs, drives, heritage, and background. I can't really think of anything that fits that. And I didn't struggle with issues from your vice or traumas. I still haven't picked a second trauma.
Yeah, you
Uh,
totally get one for that, for like being traumatized.
We'll call it, just for getting traumatized, we'll call it that. Is that what we're doing?
yeah.
All right, go. Sure, go for it.
Okay. Yeah,
That's
I
6.
mean, I was sort of indifferent in a way of putting the title together, but I don't know if that really rises.
Well, just for getting a new
Counting
trauma,
as
we'll
this.
call it 1. So well, that's 3 for you this time, right?
That would be 3. Then yeah, okay.
All right. How about Junker?
Let's see. I would say at least one for her. You addressed a challenge with technical skill or mayhem. Just drugging the guy up is one for that at least.
Sure. That's if mayhem. I would definitely call it that. Oops. We drop off here. Oh, we lose Neocree.
Yeah, and I think that at least one for her background, because like the Severosi, I think, respect a lot of the gods, but they don't try to get too close to them.
Gotcha. All right, sure.
And none for my vice or trauma right now.
Okay, so that's 2. The 2.
Yeah.
Okay, 2. All right. How about Peacock?
So I think I addressed more than one challenge with deception and influence.
Absolutely.
Both to gather information and then onward.
Oh yeah, definitely 2.
There we go.
Beliefs, drives, heritage, or background. I've definitely played up the former noble quite a bit. So I would say either 1 or 2.
You tell me.
Um,
I could see 2 for this one. You were
okay.
pretty in your element.
And then 1 for being traumatized.
There you go. That's a
Oh yeah.
Yep. So 5. We'll call it 5. That's a lot.
That is a lot.
All right. Breaker.
All right. Well, I would definitely say violence or coercion. I was pretty coercive. I coerced a guy into not kneecapping me.
That's pretty impressive. Sure.
Yeah. Who was high on drugs at the time. So yeah, I'd say it's a 1.
Okay.
Beliefs, drives, heritage, or background. I think 1 from his experience with the goddess, how he just dived straight into it without hesitation.
Sure.
Sure. What else?
I'm down with that.
All right. And then 1 because that same diving into it caused him some issues.
Yes, traumatized. All right.
Caused
So
some brain tearage.
yeah, but it'll be stronger. It'll grow back
It'll be
better.
stronger. It'll grow back.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So that's 3 for you.
Yeah.
Could I had
Yeah.
forgotten about that. Can I jump in there and say also for the express my beliefs through accepting the goddess in that ritual?
Sure. I think that's fair.
Okay.
Yeah.
Definitely. All right. So let's see.
You even
Let's
say
look at-
Junker expressed her beliefs by saying no to the goddess.
Well, yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah.
The Severosi, they respect the gods, but they try not to get too close to it because that's really dangerous.
Just a little. Come on.
You'll get stronger. It'll be some growing pains early on, which will be stronger afterwards.
All right. So let's see. Let's do the crew advance or the crew XP real quick. So what is our crew specific trigger? Do we? Here, we look it
Crew
up.
mode. They have the list.
Oops.
Yeah, advance the agenda of your deity or embody its precepts in action.
Yeah. I would say yes. I wouldn't give it 2 for
Also-
it because it was, not you certainly was embodying it by doing what you're doing, but again, it wasn't. I don't think it's too worthy.
Yeah, I'd say it's a one worthy. This
Well,
is
but
it was a small
assembling the
job.
whole effigy, would that be part of it? That would advance
Oh, we did.
goddesses.
We
Yeah,
did
because
connect
apparently
with the
you
goddess.
sent us the ship of dead people with those 2 final parts, and we assembled it. I would think that would be a pretty
Yeah, that's-
major
And
advancement.
she does have 3 new she does have 3 new vessels for her thought tendrils. So
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll go 2. I'll go 2
I
with
could
that.
see, yeah. Other than that, otherwise I'd agree if it was just the score and furthering taking out the guy, but we did connect to the goddess.
Sure, sounds good. All right, 2. Continue challenges above your station. Not really. Again, blue coats are a higher tier, but you weren't dealing with the brunt of the blue coats, if you will.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Bolster your crew's reputation or develop a new one.
I don't think so,
Not
'cause again,
really.
it wasn't
Well-
something that people know about.
Right, exactly.
It's not
Exactly.
consistent enough for it to count
Well-
towards bolstering reputation, I think.
It was contained
Well,
enough
we
where
were-
it's.
We were kind of like serene and stuff. We did
Yeah.
go real quiet.
I
But
agree, but I would say we'd have
nobody
to
knows.
do that. I'd say we'd have to do that multiple times for it to start creating a new reputation. Because remember the ones after this were getting into a running gun battle, a running cart battle, in the middle of the street.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, so we're gonna call that 0 for that because again, and plus nobody really knew about this. Your
Yeah,
reputation
that's
wasn't to be seen by anybody.
totally fine.
Express drive goals inner conflict. Yeah, I mean you worked to make the goddess presence more powerful. I'll say 1 or
Yeah.
2. What do you guys think?
I'd say definitely 2. Like inner conflict because Junker is like, oh,
Oh
no.
yeah, and that could actually be a potential issue because Junker did not become a higher tier. She did not become a chosen.
All right, okay.
She's the only one of us who didn't, in fact.
All right. Yeah, that's excellent. That's an
Yeah.
excellent point. So let's call that 2. So a total of 4 crew XP. So you're up to 4.
Great.
Was that?
I really do like that XP system. Now that we've been doing this for a bit, it's like it seems like a big number, the sheer amount to get. But if you're really doing a lot of XP, if you're doing a lot of RP and getting those 2s, you actually do fill it up pretty quickly.
Well, again, one of the smart things the game designers do is if you want someone to do something, give them XP for
Yeah.
doing it.
It's
So
actually-
again, you're not gaming the system by doing these things. You're doing what the
No.
game creator wants you to do.
Yeah, I really do think that's a good design because as someone who doesn't really take to RP too, I've gotten better over time. Because I've been doing it for a while, but even then it's still a bit of a hesitation. But knowing in the back of my mind, if I have XP running on this, maybe I want to get out of my comfort zone a
Yeah.
bit. That does help.
Cool. Yeah, good session, guys. It was neat. It was again. I like the fact that I think we've covered them all. Of all the
Yeah.
I don't think we've covered all of them. We haven't had that many sessions.
Oh, we did. Let's see.
There's more types than the number of sessions we've had.
I think I have like 1 or 2.
Let's see. We definitely done an assault, the deception. No, yeah, assault, deception, stealth,
Oh, yeah,
occult,
that's true.
transport. Maybe we haven't done social. What? Or
We
did
haven't-
We did all of them. Yes, we
Did
did
we?
all of them.
When did we do social?
When we talked with the gondoliers.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
We've done
That
all
was a
the.
Nice
social.
memory.
Yeah, we have done all the engagements. So yeah, I'm
Yeah,
glad
gondoliers was
we're.
not deception. Yeah, it was a just straight up social negotiation.
Yeah,
Huh.
that's cool. I like the fact that you guys are branching out like that, and it's cool that we can this crew is has what it takes to do all of those. That's really cool. So really good
Yeah.
job, guys. Good session. All the good stuff. I think we're gonna hit exactly we started a couple minutes late, so we'll hit the exact 3-hour mark. So like I said, really good session. I hope everybody felt like they got some spotlight. It's hard for me to shoehorn this in sometimes, but I never ever want you guys to leave a session thinking that you could have not been here You know, that would suck.
Yeah.
I mean, I have the impression that everybody filled some sort of key notch in.
Yeah, that this
in
session
theirs, yeah.
especially, it was like just
Yeah.
about everyone really came together pretty well. It's like that,
Yeah.
like one of us missing, that was a major event in that operation. Would not have happened, or have had to have happened differently.
Right.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
could have gone very differently. So I'm glad that is the case. So again, I'm succeeding at least in that. So so yeah, let's talk on Discord. Think about again what you want to do for your downtime activities. Again, I think we're now efficient enough where we're doing a full cycle ish through a session.
Mine's, I'll admit, mine's gonna be pretty simple because I'm 1 away from my playbook advance and 2 away from my resolve advance. So that's just 2 trainings, and I get 2 up at 2 separate advancements.
Nice.
No, that's
Very nice.
can't argue with that math.
Not at all. So yeah, good session, guys. I'm looking forward to the next one. Again, this is the Scott's Case File channel. I'm Scott, the Scott, that guy. But more importantly, my players are Neocree,
Take care, everyone.
Dr. Oculari, and always flash his thing here. There's Dr. Oculari's cool banner. If anyone else has one, let me know. I'll pop it up too. And then Cassie Moss.
Yep.
And then Steve.
Good night.
My awesome players. So yeah, keep being awesome dudes and dudettes and etc. Whatever. Just have have a good time, have a good week. Like I said, let's talk on Discord. I know you're all probably mostly pent up inside, so don't go crazy. And I will see and talk to you guys soon. So
Okay.
thank you all for being here, and thank you for the viewers, all the good stuff. And
Okay.
again, Scott's Case Files, follow the Twitters, all that, and right below if you're watching on Twitch. Anyway, Twitter, Twitch, all that kind of good stuff. Anyway, have a good one. Thank you again for being here. Bye for now.
Take
Okay.
care.
Goodbye.
All right.